Hey guys, the Keto Police channel, the new channel, the channel where we can openly talk about a little bit more things, and you should expect to hear some things that you normally wouldn't hear on my regular channel because I have some people there that are non-confrontational. But there are some people that were wanting to hear my views on some things that were kind of confrontational. So I created a second channel so I can do more criticism of certain topics. I can get into a little bit more gray or hairier situations per se, and just kind of cover some things that I wouldn't normally cover on my other channel. There's a lot of vegans out there right now that are trying to take carnivore doctors and play them against keto doctors. This is something that's not happening, but they make it seem as if it is. The only issue that I would partially see is where Dr. Berg talks about not having to push supplements or needing to push supplements to be healthy on a carnivorous diet or a ketogenic diet. And Dr. Berg does nothing but constantly flash, different types of green supplements and pills and all this other stuff across the screen. Now, this is where it may seem one versus the other is happening, when really, in the grand scheme of things, that's not what's happening at all. Dr. Berg says, 7 to 10 cups of vegetables per day. Dr. Berg says you don't necessarily need to have vegetables to be healthy. Dr. Berg says, these are my green supplements. These are my collagen supplements. These are my vitamin selenium supplements. But Dr. Berg says, wait a second, you can get all that through food. You don't need to take supplements. Well, you have a vegan that comes along, Red Pill Vegan. He wants to come along and make a video playing Dr. Berg against Dr. Berg. Now, here's the situation. They're not fighting with each other. I may not agree with everything either one of them says, because there's a lot I don't agree with Dr. Berg, and there's a lot that I don't agree with Dr. Berg. I think a lot of people have agendas that they have to push, regardless if it's sincere or not. I think that people want to grow on social media. That's just the natural scheme of things, especially if you believe in your message. And I believe wholeheartedly that Dr. Berg and Dr. Berg are not fighting with each other. They're just tailoring their message and what they stand for to their crowd. Dr. Berg seems to believe in pushing supplements, regardless of the situation. Dr. Berg seems to want to grow as much as he possibly can on social media and share himself with as many major outlooks to get his message out as possible. Now, regardless of what happens in the meantime, who cares? They have something that they're trying to achieve, and that's what they're going after. But then you'll have this vegan that comes along, Red Pill Vegan, that wants to make a video about it, trying to expose carnivore and keto to a standpoint where it's carnivore versus keto. And now it's Dr. Berg versus Dr. Berg. You got Dr. Berg coming up that is really serious about what he does, and then you have Dr. Berg coming up that's been doing it longer than any of the doctors that are out there. Dr. Berg, well, not longer than any of them. Dr. Eric Westman has been doing it longer than Dr. Berg. But you can go back like 6 years and find Dr. Berg videos. Dr. Eric Westman has been doing, keto Atkins lifestyle since 1980. So he's the longest running ketogenic doctor. I have nothing bad to say about Dr. Eric Westman at all. Actually, he's kind of my mentor when it comes to my information, because he's been doing it the longest. He has the most knowledge when it comes to this. And he has the most time working with the most patients when it comes to ketogenics in general. So we'll leave him out of the equation. He's like the grandfather to all of this. But I come across a video last night, and there was this vegan called Red Pill Vegan, and he was trying to play Dr. Berg against Dr. Berg. And there's nothing going on between Dr. Berg and Dr. Berg. Dr. Berg, even in the comment section, said, well, I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't have a problem with Dr. Berg. I actually like him. He's helped thousands of people, and I don't have anything bad to say about him, so I don't understand why you're trying to play me against him. But I do like the comical value of this video. So he was very positive in his message when he said something to him, but there's a difference here. Dr. Berg's got 400,000 or 500,000 subscribers. Dr. Berg's got over 2.1 million subscribers. So there's a big difference when it comes to subscriber rating. Dr. Berg is not going to stoop to a standard where he has to reply to somebody that has such low subscriber content like Red Pill Vegan, which is only I think he only has like 6,500 subscribers. But this is what we have going on out here. We have Weight Watchers tearing apart keto. We have Oprah tearing apart keto. We have Dr. Oz and the Wheat Belly Doctor and all these other people that are starting to flip shit, and they're starting to go against the grain in things that they supported to begin with. I'm not saying Weight Watchers and Oprah has, but the other doctors have. And everything's changing now. Social media is kind of getting a little out of whack. The news stations are starting to get involved with all this stuff. Politics are starting to get involved with all this stuff. They're bringing in major news anchors to represent keto and Weight Watchers and all this other stuff. These things are getting crazy right now. There's a lot of things that are going on, and whenever I look at things from my perspective, I'm just like, wow, this is nuts. This is honestly nuts. So if you're a grounded person, if you're a person that believes in what you do, if you're a person that's not easily swayed by social media and the bullshit that goes on out there, if you're a person that you can actually look at yourself and say, I know what I'm doing, I'm not going to let some other idiot ruin what I've got going on, then I would urge you to not even listen to any of the junk. There is no Dr. Berry versus Dr. Berg. There is no carnivore versus keto in the grand scheme of things. It's just whatever fits your life, and making it fit you, you not fitting it. So you need to understand the message that's out there right now. You need to understand what's going on. You need to understand there's a lot of people that's going to lose money if keto keeps growing like it is, carnivore keeps growing like it is. Regardless of your situation or what you have to deal with, there's a lot of things that are changing right now, and social media is going to play keto against carnivore, and social media is going to play veganism against carnivore, veganism against keto. I don't give a hell what you do. You can be vegan, you can be vegetarian, you can be vegan, you can be Mediterranean. As long as you're not forcing that junk on me, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're crazy carnivore or junk keto or whatever you want to call it. As long as you're doing you and you feel like you're getting healthier and it's something's happening for you and your quality of life is changing, that's all that matters. Outside of that, who gives a crap what any of these doctors say or any of these vegans say? Just do what fits your lifestyle. You make the diet fit you. You do not fit the diet. Understand where I'm coming from with that. It's not meaning that you change the diet up to make it what you want it to be. It means that you learn what the diet is and make that diet fit your lifestyle so you can do it a healthy way, not having to change what you do in life. That's what that means. This debacle, carnivore versus keto, it's a bunch of junk. You know, I'm more in the corner with non-supplementation versus having to take all these supplements that Dr. Berg pushes. I'm more in the corner of just getting everything through whole food and not so much what Dr. Berg wants with 7 to 10 cups of vegetables per day. So I think that what we need to focus on is we need to focus on the fact that there are vegans and social media and stuff out there that are going to play the two campaigns against each other. And this is going to happen statistically and then non-statistically. They're doing this because this is exactly what it's going to take to make their agenda look better. And you have to be able to look through the BS, look through the smoke screen, and see what the real picture is here. If you haven't found the video, Carnivore versus Keto or something by Red Pill Vegan, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, the guy's talking out of his back end. He's wanting to play Dr. Berry against Dr. Berg. He's wanting to say, what do you think about, you know, Dr. Berry saying that you don't need to supplement anything. You can just eat meat, eat organ meat, eat animal products, eat the products that have bioavailable nutrients greater than vegetables, statistically greater, scientifically proven greater. But at the same time, do you want to listen to Dr. Berg over here that says you need 7 to 10 cups of vegetables per day, but then also you can start supplementing to accent or enhance your 7 to 10 cups? If I can't get the nutrients that I need through 7 to 10 cups of vegetables per day, which is ridiculous to begin with, I mean, trying to gorge yourself with 7 to 10 cups of vegetables per day is idiotic to begin with. Now, second of all, if I can't get my sustained nutrients from 7 to 10 cups of vegetables per day, I'm definitely not going to take your green powder and your green pills. I'm definitely not going to buy your selenium and stuff like that. So my message to Dr. Berg would be, get off this supplement horse and start teaching people more about whole food. Throw the crap away, but you make too much money on it now, I understand. If you're eating 7 to 10 cups of vegetables per day, you better not have to supplement anything, or else what's the point of eating vegetables? You know, that's another one of the reasons why I sincerely believe that vegetables are not what they're cut out to be. If you still have to supplement after eating that many vegetables, you've got a problem. And it's not, vegetables are not going to fix it for you. It's just, when it comes down to it, that is just what it is. I'm a carnivore. I eat meat. I love it. I'm sustaining on it. I lose little bits of weight as I do it. I'm not in a high level of ketosis while I'm doing it, 1.0 millimolar most of the time, just a general, nice, consistent state of ketosis. And I'm okay with that. I feel good off that. I don't chase numbers and stuff like everybody else does. I need 2.0, I need 3.0. That stuff is irrelevant to me. It makes no sense. Your body is not going to be any better at 3.0 versus 1.0 unless you have some kind of like severe case of dementia, Alzheimer's, a brain tumor or something like that you're trying to fight. If you're just a person healing from regular general metabolic disorders, type 2 diabetes, blood pressure problems, stuff like that, trying to get 3.0 millimolar and all this other stuff and 2 point this and that, it's all a bunch of hogwash. You ain't doing yourself any justice other than making more stress for yourself. There's no information out there that actually points out that says if you have 3.0 millimolar, you're going to lose more weight than somebody that has 1.0 millimolar. Actually, I read an article that stated they seen more weight loss between somebody that had like 0.8, 0.9 to 1.5 and their little clinical study, which I don't even remember where it was at the time. It was when I was brand new to all this, and I was just kind of reading through things. I was hungry of trying to get, and I went back later to find it. It's irrelevant. But this particular study, which you should just take what I say with a grain of salt anyway, right? Because I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, this study talked about seeing the same, if not better, weight loss between somebody with like 0.9 millimolar to 1.5 versus somebody that was 2.5 and above all the time. There was no extra weight loss. It was your body is on a path of regulating and doing exactly what it needs to do. Your dietary fat going in your body is what's going to change a lot of these ketone levels. So understanding that just because I have a high number on my screen, or I'm checking all the time and I'm putting myself in this deep fasted state, what did you say? The entire time I've been on keto, even when I have done long-term fasting, the highest my ketones have ever registered was at 2. When I'm doing all meat, less than 10 total carbs, my ketones are at 0.2. There's an issue there with you. See, when I do all meat and I add fat to it, lots of fat to it. I think that's your problem, though. It's like every time we've talked, you're eating fatty meat, but you're not eating enough fat. I think it's your approach to doing it. I don't necessarily think it's the diet itself. I just don't think you're approaching it correctly. I don't think you've figured out exactly what you need to do to make it fit you. And that's why I always fit in and I talk about this stuff. You guys, when you do this stuff, you're trying to fit what the diet does instead of making the diet fit your life. And I'm not about that. And I've said that from the beginning of time. Too many people try to make themselves fit the diet. Quit doing that. Make it fit you. If you're at 0.2 ketones or 0.2 millimolar, which carnivores don't chase ketones anyway. So for somebody to say I'm worried about my ketone levels and I'm eating a meat-based diet, well, I mean, that's not the premise of the diet anyway. It's an elimination diet to figure out what's causing the issues in your body so you can figure out the elimination portion of it. So I have a group, it's called Carnivore Diet Reset, where we eliminate all foods. We do just meats. And when we do just meats like that, I go through a process. Okay, here's a 4 or 5 day cycle. Add avocado in, see what happens. Okay, you reacted well to it, so obviously this is something that you can have in your diet. Your body's not objective to it. Take it out. Go back for another week and go back to your meat. Clean yourself back out again. Get back on just meat. Okay, now let's go ahead and add some broccoli in. Let's see what happens. Oh, my blood sugar shot up out of nowhere and it's not really liking this. It's kind of rejecting it. Well, let's give it a couple days and see if the same thing's happening, if you can sustain what you're doing and it's not causing any problems. Oh, no, it's only at like 95 or 100, where normally I'm down at like 82, 84. Okay, or not, blood sugar, I should say, not blood pressure. Okay, so let's monitor it for a few days and see if it gets worse. Oh, well, it got better. Your body just took a few days to adjust. Well, maybe that's something you can have in, but I would monitor that and then go back to another week. But I'm having people, when they do this, their response to things. A lot of people go into it thinking they know exactly how to do it, and they're not even doing it correctly. They're overeating, or they're undereating. They're not adding enough fat, or their sources are too lean. I noticed that when I started doing carnivore, if I would just get regular fatty cuts of steak, and I didn't try to find the fattiest cut of steak that I could find in the meat department, my ketones would be really low. I'd be down 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. But when I started adding butter to it and adding coconut oil to it and cooking my steak in saturated fat instead of these other types of fats, which olive oil and avocado oil is not to cook it. A lot of people do that anyway, and it takes away from the quality of what you're cooking. They're only to use as mixers and things like that. They're healthy fats, but they're to be used in a mixing fashion, not in a cooking fashion. Now, what I find is people that don't add the fat or find the really big sources of fatty cuts of meat, they're the ones that have the low ketone levels. I mean, it is what it is. I experience the same thing. So, I want to see what higher ketones in the context of lower glucose, low GI index is a great measure of autophagy. You are correct. Most folk don't know that ketones are the minor part of fat loss. We burn fatty acids. You're right. And ketones are not, it's not like a huge important thing. So cocoa butter is okay. Yes, a lot of people use cocoa butter. I see a lot of people put cocoa butter in recipes and stuff like that. They just have to make sure that they're getting a clean source. And ghee and coconut is phenomenal to cook in. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Ghee and coconut is probably one of the best things you can cook it. If you cook a steak in coconut oil, it almost seems to enhance the flavor more than butter does. Or even ghee. If you cook a steak in ghee, it almost brings more flavor out of the meat than just regular butter or regular like tallow or lard does. So I like using ghee and coconut oil when I cook as well, because there's a lot of flavor there. It's very robust, and it's like, I love the way it tastes. And a good quality salt, not any cheap Walmart salt or something like that, like a Redmond's real salt or something to that nature, or a really good quality French or Italian salt that's high end. Yeah, I make chocolate with butter, bone marrow, coconut oil. It sounds good. Sounds really good. I also feel like if I made that, I would probably overeat it all the time. But I don't want to get off track too much here. I want to stay on track. So this whole notion that carnivore versus keto is better than carnivore, I think to an extent keto can be better than carnivore if you're looking for variety, and I think that's one of our biggest problems. No, I'm not talking. You're not taking me off track, Irish. I just want to stay on track. I'm sidetracking myself as well, and I'm trying to stay with the focus here. So keto is not better than carnivore. Carnivore is not better than keto. But what I do find is, I thought someone who had, I'm getting sidetracked here again. I thought someone who has a lot of weight to lose, eat moderate amounts of fat, they reach their healthy weight and then increase it. Well, not necessarily, Jenny. That doesn't work that way, though. I've had a lot of people come to my keto groups and stuff where I freely coach people. I'm trying to stay on. I freely coach people, and that's the thing, is I have a lot of people that come to me sometimes, and they're not adding fat to their food, like their meats and stuff like that. I wouldn't say go. There's a fine line here. And this is where you, as a person that is controlling your life and your diet, you need to stay on top of this. You need to see over a few weeks period of time, if I'm adding more fat, I'm not losing weight. There is no perfect answer to this here. Yes, if you're adding dietary fat to your food, you're not going to pull as much from your body. But at the same time, if you're not adding certain fats to your food, you're not going to raise your ketone levels if that's something that you're after. If you're not adding fats to your food, it could be a leaner source of meat, and then all of a sudden your blood sugar goes up and your ketone levels go down, which you don't want. So this is a love-hate relationship here. If you're already eating fatty cuts of food and you don't have to put butter and stuff on everything, sure, don't do that then. You're probably going to lose weight faster. But you need to be your own detective. There's no 100% answer I can give to anybody on this specific situation. It's about you monitoring what you're doing. It's about you writing down the things that are happening. It's about you tracking. When I add certain fats and stuff into my food for long periods of time, I don't lose weight as much. It's about seeing a 600 bulletproof coffee is stupid and it doesn't work for most people, and I probably should have somewhere around 200, which works a lot better. Things of this nature. So yes, if you're adding fat to your food, you're not going to pull as much from your body, but at the same time, it could cause some other issues as well. So this is where we need to start looking at, where do I want to go with my journey? Am I doing this for performance reasons? Am I wanting to lose weight really freaking quick right now? Well, then I should be on a protein sparring modified fast for short periods where I'm having tons of lean protein and low amounts of fat, and then switching it back up and eating a regular ketogenic diet, and then maybe doing small forms of intermittent fasting, and then doing big extended fasting. There's different approaches to all this here. You just have to figure out what you want to fit your lifestyle. It's not easy for me to answer just to one person and say this is what you need. You know, there's a situation for everything. Higher ketones are only really relevant to those who have medical need for it, and brain issues, Alzheimer's, dementias. Yeah, I mean, I could feel, I can feel that. I mean, that's what I mean when it comes to ketones. It's people that are trying to deal with brain issues is what seem to get the best benefit out of high ketone levels. Now, I can't tell you, back to what I was saying, I can't tell you that keto is better than carnivore, and I can't tell you carnivore is better than keto, but what I can do is pick out specific situations to tell you which ones are better. If you're a person that wants variety, you're gonna want to be on a ketogenic diet. If that's something that you have to break up the monotony of things in your life and just your eating schedule in general, a ketogenic diet is going to happen for that. Now, if you're a person that's trying to fight an autoimmune condition, if you're a person that's trying to figure out what's causing issues in your life, what's causing triggers, what's causing carb cravings and stuff like that, a keto or a carnivorous diet with plenty of fat and salt and things of this nature, and sometimes supplementing potassium, because people can't eat enough meat sometimes to sustain healthy potassium levels, is another reason why this should be going on. So there are pros and cons to both, but they both are not, there's neither one of them that is better than the other. For specific situations, certain reasons a carnivorous diet would be better, certain reasons a ketogenic diet would be better, certain things, yes. But to say in the grand scheme of things, keto is better than carnivore, carnivore is better than keto, no. That's a bunch of hogwash. People that are saying that stuff are full of shit, and that's what it comes down to. You're not going to play that against me. Old Frankie Tefano over there talking about how vegetables are this and that, and Daphne Reloaded, or whatever that crazy girl's name is. She's talking about, oh, vegetables are going to kill off the earth and everything else, and other, I don't buy into all that hogwash. Those people don't do nothing for me. I mean, Frankie's smart or whatever, and he might give some good information to people, but I have my own mindset and my own way of doing things, and I don't need to follow people that kind of are dogmatic like that. I don't want to get mixed up in the debacle of all that stuff, keto versus carnivore, carnivore versus keto, and then, if anything, Dr. Sean Baker is probably the most mellow, level-headed out of all of them. And that's objective as well, Jim. Carnivore is another style of ketogenics, and it is a style of ketogenics, but I heard Dr. Berg when he first come out and said carnivore is a subset of keto, and then I got to thinking about it, and I said, you know what? I don't really think so. I think that carnivorous eating was the primary way of eating, and ketogenics was a subset of a carnivorous diet. Whenever they would add vegetables and tubers and stuff in during seasonal changes, but the predominant meat source throughout the entire year was always meat. It never went away. It was always hunting and gorging on meat, and then adding vegetables and tubers in whenever they were available. So that's subjective to what people want to believe. I mean, that's another thing we could get into, and that's not something that's even really worth getting into. I think that all these people that talk about this is how you need to eat, this is how you need to eat, vegetables are going to kill you, this is that. Daphne Reloaded was a vegan before, now she's a die-hard carnivore that's went psychotic, and the girl has just lost her freaking brain. She's a flat earther that thinks the earth is flat, and she's on a carnivorous diet, and the sight of vegetables on anybody's channel automatically throws her off, and now she doesn't want to support you at all because you have vegetables. Um, yes, I do eat organ meats, and I. So it's another one of those things that pick and choose what you want to watch. Do you watch her content because she's funny? Do you watch her content because you like the way she thinks flat Earth is, and you're a flat earther as well? Well, then you fit her community great. Do you have a vegetable on your page anywhere? Don't expect her to support you, because if she finds out you got a vegetable on your banner like she did me, oh my God, it's the end of the world. I cannot support a vegetable. I cannot even comment on your videos and stuff because you got a freaking vegetable on your banner of your page. These are the kind of people that we're dealing with here. We're not just dealing with crazy vegans, and we're not just dealing with doctors and Weight Watchers and everybody else that want to make the concept of carnivore and keto look bad. We're dealing with psychotic vegans that have went carnivore, that have lost their freaking mind completely, that now make this movement look just as bad as everything else does. I mean, this is what it comes down to. We're dealing with carnivorous YouTubers like Frank Trufano. They want to get mixed into the dramatic social media aspect of things, and they you know, people are calling him transgender and he's gay and all this other stuff, and he was doing a small skit in a gay film for something, and then all of a sudden the focus is no longer on keto and carnivore anymore. Now you're drawing people into this lifestyle that you used to live, or whatever your private choices were before, and now the focus has been taken completely away. Now everybody thinks that keto and carnivore people and vegan people are this transgender, transsexual, trans this, trans that, everything else, because of what's going on. And it's nuts, because we can't even focus on the particular movement anymore, because everybody else wants to get into this funny, comical, you're a queer and you're this and you're a lesbian. Who cares? That's their private life. Leave it alone. Let's keep it right where it is right now. I don't care if Frank is mixing comic style in his videos or not, and I don't really care if it's entertaining. I've taken people from my channels to Frank's channel and said, look, Frank's doing an interview or a live right now, a Q&A. Let's see if we can get some questions answered for you, and see if you get the same answer that I gave you, and then you can get that warm and fuzzy for the recommendations that I give, right? So I've taken people over there, you know, 10 people, 5 people at a time. Hey, meet me there. Here's Frank's link. Let's go over there. And they're asking questions, and they can't even get the damn questions answered because Frank is so fascinated on talking about being a trans this or a gay that. I'm like, Frank, answer the freaking question, man. I actually had to pop up like 10 times and say, answer the question. You got people here from my groups that want answers, and they can't even get it because you're so focused on talking about all this other junk. Let's get back on topic. Sure, every once in a while it'll be funny, but let's get back on topic with this stuff. Let's go back where the focus is. But it's not my channel. Social media doesn't care about that, though. Social media is going to look at that and say, this is how carnivore people are. This is how keto people are. Remember, you can do one. I don't want to hear why you like or don't like or any of that stuff. I understand you guys like him. I'm not after that. I'm telling you how I feel, and I'm telling you how social media looks at things, and I'm giving you an answer that is 100% true. When social media, when the world sees this is a representative of the carnivore community or the ketogenic community, and they see how these people act, that's how they get portrayed. Whatever happened to you do one good thing, you get praised for the one good thing. Or you do 10 good things and people will praise you for the 10 good things. But you do one bad thing and they'll remember you for the rest of your life for that one bad thing. That's how social media sees everybody else. They look at it as like, man, what's this guy over here talking about gay film and this and that and doing all this other stuff and talking about all these acts and things that he's... Come on. No. The Freely Banana Girl, now all of a sudden people hear vegan and they think of Freely, and they talk about all the nasty stuff she talks about on her pages about what she's done in her life sexually and all this other stuff, but it's supposed to be about vegan content. I mean, people remember that stuff. That's what it gets remembered as. So the whole focus here has fallen apart. It used to be really good, really straight to the point. All this other used to happen, but as YouTubers get bigger, they have to search out a bigger crowd. They have to search out more money, more content and stuff like that, and that's what ends up happening. I don't see a need for any of that in my life. I don't see the need for that 100,000 subscribers from now. I feel like the content should be about carnivorous and ketogenic living. That's what it is. If you want to talk about, you know, gay carnivore or something like that, or gay keto, then go create another channel that's about that type of stuff. But, you know, this is what we get looked at. This is why right now there's so much scrutiny when it comes down to our living styles. You know, I mentioned, how long have I been talking about keto crotch? I've been talking about this stuff for a couple years now. The smell changing from downstairs, right? I've had videos out forever now. What does Dr. Berg do? Put a video up talking about, I've never had to deal with that in my clinic. What does this other doctor do? I've never had to deal with that in my clinic. I've never had anybody confess that stuff to me. This is a made-up PR stunt. Well, it's a PR stunt, but it's definitely not made up. Is it a coincidence that I had videos out 8 months ago on this? Is it a coincidence that 3 weeks before this happened, I already had a video talking about it again? Is it a coincidence that there are articles up on the internet talking about Keto Kitty from a year and a half, 2 years ago? No, it's not a coincidence. It's because any diet change does change your smell. It doesn't matter what it is. And it could be from, and not every person's affected by this. It could be a temporary change, which most of the time that's what it is. It happens and it's gone a week, 2 weeks later, and it doesn't come back. So we're dealing with different angles, different campaigns, different people trying to push different agendas, different information coming across the board. And nobody's being neutral and consistent with that stuff. You got people that say that's BS, that never happened, I never heard it, that's a bunch of bullcrap, that's them trying to lie again. And then I'm over here like, wait a second, I've had social media groups now for 3.5 years. I've been coaching now for years. This stuff actually can change. This is legit. You know, I have nurses and stuff popping up on my video talking about it, saying, you know what, he's right. pH levels do change. Different types of what you're eating is going to taste the way, or change the way you taste, the way you smell, all these kinds of things. This is a fact. And it's I don't get mixed up on it. That's why I don't bring, you know who I'm bringing on? I'm going to do a video, I think next weekend, with Bobby's Perspective. He was a vegan that went carnivore, and I'm going to bring him on, and we're going to do a video together. I've got another video coming up with Luke Miller. He was at the vegan march yesterday, where they were going to go crash it or something like that. Svetiage and Luke Miller and a bunch of other groups were all going to get together and crash the vegan march. I'm bringing him on. I want to try to do it today if I can. I need to figure out how it all works first. But, you know, these are people that are, I want to hear about real life stuff and things that are going on, not people that are just so, they're crazy and out there all the time. It just makes no sense. I watch more of Dr. Sean Baker than anybody, because Dr. Sean just comes right out and says, look, I don't have a problem with you being vegan. It's not necessarily healthy, but that's your life. Just don't bother me in what I do. Same with these other people. I don't have a problem with you being vegan, but that's your life. Just don't bother me. But then there are the few of them that say, you know, I'm not, no matter what, I'm just going to go ahead and start attacking carnivores and vegans and everywhere. That's my thing. I just want to attack them. So I've got news for them. I've got a new channel now called Keto Police, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. You want to do some reviews and stuff like that? You want to see where the nonsense and stuff comes from? You want to see some comical satire and stuff? Well, you too. Have a good day. Then that's what this is going to be about. More critical reviews, more being honest, no holds barred, no holding back. I'm going to say whatever I want on this channel, and that's how this channel is going to go. So the message was about the debacle between keto versus carnivore. There's no debacle. There's no Dr. Berg versus Dr. Berg. There's none of that. One doctor believes one thing, one doctor believes another. That's life. That's just how it happens, right? That's how it happens. You can't change that. And there are people that are going to follow Dr. Berg. There are people that are going to follow Dr. Berry. There are people that are going to want to supplement, and they have to supplement. The majority of them don't if they're eating a well-balanced diet. Then there are people that are going to want to follow Dr. Berry. So what is this that just popped up? Primal Edge just popped up, and it said Frank versus Vegan Gains. Something. Maybe there might be something going on in about 30 minutes on Tristan's channel, Primal Edge Health. Anyhow. It's just vegans trying to make a situation out to be something that it's not. So if you haven't checked out Red Pill Vegan and his whole video on Dr. Berry versus Dr. Berg, go check it out. Anyhow, that's my video for today on this channel. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Again, if you find anything in any of my videos that are worth sharing to somebody, you think it could change their life, you think it could help me out as well, share my videos. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. That thumbs up really means something. I don't know how many times, you know, we've talked about hitting that thumbs up, and people say, oh yeah, I did it. I come back 2 days later and I had like 12 people say that they did it while they were on watching me, but yet there's only, 3 of them that are showing. So I don't understand what's going on with that. So guys, if you could, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and okay, cool. Share it somewhere. Find a place to share it. I don't care if you make up a group and share it. 30 minutes. Jim, it said 30 minutes. It just popped up on my phone. So probably 28, 27 minutes now, something like that. All right, guys. Take care. Thank you.